Next question I want to take a look at is section 5.1, number 21 this time. We're given this diagram here, and I've taken the liberty to do some of the congruencies in color, and we've got 4 lines. All 4 are cut by the same transversal, and it marks off this angle here, this blue angle, and this other blue angle congruent. The red angle and the red angle are congruent. And the question we're asked in 21 is, are M and L congruent? Well, let's see here. Here's M, or excuse me, congruent. Wow. Are M and L parallel? Well, here's M, here's L. We need to see if they're parallel. We need some theories for that. At the start of section 5.1, we've got theorem 5.1 that says that if 2 lines are cut by a transversal to form a pair of congruent alternate interior angles, then the lines are parallel. And from that, we get corollary 5.2, corollary 5.3, corollary 5.4. 3 separate corollaries. Each one tells us, hey, this is when your lines are parallel. Now, in angle M and angle L, or excuse me, line M, line L, that's all we're looking at. So let's get rid of this red business. That's just in our way. We'll get rid of all of this. This is just in our way. We're just looking at line M and line L. What do we see? Well, I see the 2 blue angles. And the angles that they represent are corresponding angles. We have congruent corresponding angles. So the corresponding angles are congruent. That means yes. And we used corollary 5.3 to show this. Okay. One last problem for this section, number 34. Fittingly enough, it asks us to prove corollary 5.3. Okay. Now, what we're given is 2 lines cut by a transversal, such that angle 1 and, excuse me here, not angle 5, angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent. And our proposition is that line M is parallel to line L. I write my L's in script when I'm doing this lowercase stuff because I don't want it to look like a 1 or an I or anything like that. It's a pretty good habit. So we need some proof. Well, all we have to go by are the previous corollaries. Using a corollary to prove another corollary, kind of bad form, and we would assume that if we're looking at 5.3, we'd only have corollary 5.2 to go off of. Nothing here is perpendicular. That's not going to help us. Well, take a look at theorem 5.1. That's the other thing that we can use to prove this. So we're going to seek a proof. Proof by theorem 5.1. If we can match the hypothesis in theorem 5.1, then we can conclude that these 2 lines are parallel. And theorem 5.1, if you recall, says if alternate interior angles are congruent, then the angles themselves are, or then the 2 lines are parallel. Angle 1 here is exterior to the transversal. Angle 2, however, is interior. And the angle that it would be alternate to, an angle that's alternate to angle 2, is this guy right here. We'll call it angle 3. So, angle 2, angle 3 are alternate. angle 2, angle 3 are alternate interior. So we show, so TS to show angle 2 congruent with angle 3. That implies that they're parallel via theorem 5.1. That's our big goal right now. Get this. Well, how? 1 is congruent to 2. 1 is vertical to 3. Angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. Vertical angles are congruent. Angle 1 is congruent with angle 2. That was given to us. Angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. Transitive property of congruency. Similar to saying if A is equal to B and B is equal to C, then A is equal to C. If 2 plus 5 is equal to 7 and 3 plus 4 is equal to 7, then 2 plus 5 is equal to 3 plus 4. Angle 2 is congruent to angle 3. They're alternate interior angles. Line M is parallel to line L by theorem 5.1. We're done. All right. And again, our big thing here was we had to think about what we could use to prove it. All we had to use was theorem 5.1. So we said, well, what angles are involved in theorem 5.1? It would be 2 and 3, or 2 unnamed angles that we don't even want to start to mess with. 2 is one of the named angles that's part of the hypothesis. 3 would be the other one. So we said, okay, this angle's special, give it a number, and we show these guys are congruent. Then we're going to get them parallel. We showed that they were congruent, we got our lines parallel, and we're done. Till next time, happy geometering.